In a world where the it thing is always changing, sometimes you need a tour guide or two to help you find your way to pop culture's paradise. If you find yourself reminiscing or in need of a good recommendation, these two have you covered. And now, here's your hosts, Joey and Jeff.
Welcome back to Pop Culture Paradise. My name is Joe.
And I'm Jeff.
And today, we are going to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel's Avengers, the video game, and we're doing it the only way I know how. By cramming more unnecessary stuff into the game, like a brand new character.
I think the Avengers are doing just fine. I don't know that they need a new Avenger.
No, if you saw this guy, you would realize that Marvel has done you a major disservice by sticking this guy in the past, putting him in obscurity. This guy could totally have his own Disney Plus show.
Well, we're gonna find out. It's gonna take some convincing. I'm just gonna put that out there into the universe right now.
Both of us are kind of experts on the Marvel Avengers game, and as everybody knows, it is not doing very well. Jeff,
dude, to say the least, like just the amount of glitching in this game, and it was so enjoyable at first, but just the amount of glitching and just the error, and we would spend more time trying to connect to each other to be able to play than we would to be able to play the actual game.
It's really tough to say, like, oh, the haters were wrong, this is actually a quality game, when by the time you finish that sentence, the game crashes.
Yep.
And then you're sitting there and you're like, hey, you want to join this game? Well, I did say I joined. Well, have you loaded up? Actually, I'm stuck on a black screen. And then all of a sudden, Thor's arm is outside of an elevator. Yep. Iron Man is like 3 of them on screen. So you're like, all right, it's a good game. I like the story. That's how I got you into the Tomb Raider series, because Crystal Dynamic, but...
Right? I mean, they got it so right with those games. Those, like, I was just sitting here the other day. I'm like, I miss playing the Tomb Raider games because they were just so much fun, especially the first one. And
I think that's what the actual Avengers game did get right. The solo story is fun. And I actually will eat my words, too, because I was thinking, like, do I want to play as Kamala there? I don't know her of the Avengers. And I use these video games to get my knowledge into comic books, into the deeper lore. And, you know, it worked for me. So this guy, I think, that I'm talking about, would have made the game so much better.
And I'm going to be the judge of that today. Let's get after it.
So the man I'm talking about is NFL SUPERPRO.
That's just him? His name is SUPERPRO?
So the man's name is NFL SUPERPRO. He went from a football player to a crime fighter, and he's America's newest superhero as of 1991.
So this showed up in an actual comic, or was it like a cartoon show?
This, I discovered, was a comic book that was put out in 1991. Had like 11, 12, 13 issues. It ran really short period of time. The guy who created it, do you know why he created it?
I have no idea.
Why do you think anyone makes a comic book?
To make money.
Yes. But this guy didn't just want money. Why would he make an NFL comic book?
Man, unless it's like a super obvious answer, I'm not sure.
The dude wanted free NFL tickets.
Oh, come on.
It's the only reason he took the job, is what I read.
He's like, you know what? I don't want to buy tickets. This is what I can offer you in return for tickets. I'm going to make you a comic book.
And they're like, what do you have? Dan Marino bot? SUPERPRO.
Yeah, SUPERPRO. He was an all-American football player turned into the all-American superhero. It's almost like if Captain America played football, which I'm sure he did at some point.
And Captain America would show up in this comic book because this guy had to get all the people to vouch for him. So that you as a kid thought, SUPERPRO? I mean, he's hanging with the rest of these dudes. He must be cool.
So wait a minute. The purpose of this comic wasn't that he was already like a superhero Avenger. He had to audition almost and get everybody's blessing.
You'd think that'd be the noble goal that he has. But honestly, from what I saw, this guy was like the ultimate NFL shill. So he'd be like more of a cleanup crew if Roger Goodell got bad press than he would be saving the world.
Oh,
But in this
man.
one, he manages to do both. Like, the
This-
NFL is always on the good side.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't they be?
I-
They gave the license.
Come on now.
Which is why I think today we're going to show you, the watching universe, why SUPERPRO should be the next Avenger.
Now, before you convince us or try to, where did you score this action figure? I have to know.
I was on a kick for Bendham's, and I went on eBay, and apparently this guy's like super rare,
Yeah.
but he must not also be not popular enough for anyone to care that much.
Oh, God.
And I snagged him for like $8-9, and apparently
Wow.
he's like the rarest Bendham because this is the only ever merchandise they made of the dude.
So it begs the question, are you going to let him breathe?
No, absolutely not.
That's going to be a super no for the Super Pro.
SUPERPRO is going to stay boxed up forever. Now, I think it's an absolute shame that SUPERPRO came out in the early 90s because he could go up against this guy.
Wait a second. What is this? Is that Robot Tony Romo?
That is Robot Tony Romo. For some reason, they put out a line of toys that have Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brian Urlacher all turning into Transformers.
Okay, was this around the year like that first film came out and it was like that's just like took over the world?
2008? That's about right, yeah.
Just around then.
And the NFL thought, hey, you know what? We already had such great success with comic books.
Right.
Let's just make Tony Romo a Transformer.
Well, then every, Sunday they always have, their bumpers in between. You'd always see the NFL robot tossing around the football.
That robot has a name.
What's his name?
Let's check our old friend Google. I know he has a name.
And did you know that pro boxer Jake Paul also has his own robot that followed him out to the ring?
Why did he have a robot? What is going on in boxing?
Jake Paul just had his fight, and he comes down to the ring, and you would think he'd have his whole entourage with him. No, he had a giant, 8-foot robot replica of himself in boxing gloves and trunks, just shadow boxing down to the ring.
You know, I'm starting to take back how I feel about Jake Paul. Now
robots are back, Joe.
That is master level trolling right there.
It really is. It really is.
So the robot on NFL Fox, his name's Cletus.
Cletus? Who named what?
Cleet.
Oh,
it just came to me. Cleet.
Right. That makes perfect sense. I like it. All right, Joe, I'm going to be the Nick Fury here. I'm going to decide if this guy is worthy of being a Avenger. Oh, no. Because when you think of what makes the perfect superhero, what makes the perfect Avenger, they got to be honorable, right? They have to be accountable. They have to be cool. I mean, you look at guys like Tony Stark. He is the reason that I am into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, just because of how cool Tony Stark was. And his suit is pretty dope. Every superhero needs a gimmick, right? I guess this guy already has one. He's a football player. But I'm going to decide if he's going to pass the test or not.
This guy in a movie, this could be John Cena's way into this kind of universe. Or he could get any kind of wrestler. If this was made at the early 90s when this comic book was, I could see Brian Bosworth playing him.
Sting
would have been perfect. I kind of feel like in these movies, there's too many nerdy scientists. So we need real cool buff dudes in it.
You know who would play him now if it were a WWE film? The Miz.
I could see The Miz playing him. But then
I could
again,
totally see Miz, the all-American athlete who craves more, so he wants to take it from the gridiron to the real world, and I could totally see that.
Yeah, and if you see this guy going forward, a lot of people kind of bust on him and make fun of him because he's not quite adapted his suits and his job as a crime fighter. And if anybody could take a little ball busting, that's Mike the Miz.
Absolutely.
So this is your introduction to SUPERPRO. How are you feeling about him right now?
So we got the Miami Tribune is a just heavily regarded paper. I know that. Dolphins wide receiver Michael Frazier shot Wait, he's not the guy that's going to be Super Pro, is he?
No. Super Pro is a guy named Phil Grayfield who became a sideline reporter after his playing days were done. And he goes around helping out his fellow players.
I love how he's not wearing any specific team. He's just wearing the NFL logo on his chest. He's like, look, I'm here to represent all the teams in the league.
This guy is a man with a burning mission. A burning mission for what? To right the wrongs for those people who need help. His name is Phil Grayfield.
And he's going to do it wearing just sneakers, not cleats or anything.
So this is kind of a basic superhero plot, right? He shows up, he's going to help out his friends in need, he's going to hop from building top to building top. Can you already feel this being a video game?
I can feel it, but I need to know, what is this guy's motive exactly? Like, why does he want to be Super Pro?
Well, as you can see here, after injuries killed his football career, he was hired by Sports Inside, which, obviously Sports Illustrated, to be a field reporter. But how do most of these superheroes come about? Something absolutely awful happened to him while he was just doing his job.
Oh, they get bit by a spider, or they get captured and they have to build an iron suit to escape, or you name it.
So this guy, he got a little bit too close to a specialized football suit that people wanted to steal. Does this sound very close to your Daredevils, your Ninja Turtles?
Right.
This guy's just in the wrong place, wrong time.
But he has all the right intentions.
For us, even though he's doused in chemicals, that actually doesn't kill him, obviously. It gives him, as you see here, enhanced athletic strength and endurance.
I gotta know, how would Jim Ross talk about this guy if he were to sign him and bring him into the WWE? Because he's a 4-time All-American, Oklahoma, he's this, he's that, collegiate. You would have a field day with this guy.
He'd have a field day with him because, look, bam, this guy has to fight a guy who looks like Brock Lesnar. This guy's taking experimental steroids.
What is this guy's story?
That's Brock. That's how Brock spends his off season.
I don't understand it. Is he a former player as well?
What you find in this series is more players, they get involved. So some will become bad guys. Some will become, involved in drugs that he has to save. And other people just need some help from a little bad publicity.
Right, because, whatever mutates you or gives you your superpower really just brings out who you truly are.
And as you can see in these things, this guy was just a good football player. So he was a linebacker, played for Notre Dame, dominated in the mid-'80s, caused a lot of fumbles.
So this begs the question, is it his super NFL suit that gives him the powers? Or has he had them all along and he's just been beating up poor schmucks in the NCAA?
This guy was like your prototype athlete. And then he happened to get the great uniform, the great prototypes. We have so many nerdy scientists, or like Spider-Man, who was a physical weakling who got these suits. This guy was designed to be a sports star / superhero.
So it was almost like Captain America kind of experiment kind of thing, but it accidentally happened to him.
Exactly. It's almost like if Luke Kuechly or Sean Lee could hurt you and then not be out for 8 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, looks like we got Herschel Walker down here with him. So at this point in the comic, Joe, he's still a football player then.
So this is his backstory, and then you also meet his girlfriend, Jane.
Right.
Then you also learn that he's really smart, too, because it's not just about his bronze.
It's brain and brawn. Of course. Phil Grayfield was a shy teenager who was accidentally bitten by a radioactive spider, and wait a minute. That's the wrong guy. Okay. Actually, Phil was drenched by a vat. That's a good word. By a vat of experimental chemicals that combined with gasoline, gasoline and chemical foam from an overhead sprinkler somehow transform him into a superpowered champion of justice. For the full story, look for NFL Super Pro Special Edition. Okay. Call to action there in the end. I respect it. Joe, so we have his backstory. I want to know, what are his superhero traits? Like, what makes him a superhero?
For superhero, you need to be a fine, upstanding citizen. I think you have to spend every night trying to bring justice. I think you have to help the people and not use your powers for evil, which
Only
I think
for
this guy
good.
does.
All right, if that's not Captain America dressed up like a football player, dude, I don't know what I'm looking at.
So when he sees a bad guy, what is he going to do?
He's going to tackle him.
The thing about SUPERPRO is he knows his place in the universe. He's so new at this. Can you read down there on the bottom of the screen who he throws a little shade at?
Boy, I've gotten pretty good at these 60-second costume changes. I mean, I may not have been as fast as Spider-Man, but he doesn't have to put on shoulder pads. Ooh, throw in the shade. And that's typically not something the all-American superhero does. But this guy, he's got a little bit of a competitive spirit to him. I can see it.
Being a superhero, he has to live a double life. So anytime someone has to get a hold of him, he's got to go back. He's got to change. He's got to conduct his secret experiment, secret research. And I remember you asking me, what makes him cool like Iron Man?
Yeah.
Well, he's got gadgets. He's got a camera here that will give him 360 perimeter view. Does Iron Man have that in his helmet?
Probably. To be honest, I just want to know how he can see through the bars of the helmet. It's gonna disrupt his view. The football outfit is just not ideal to be a superhero. You're just too heavy in the shoulders.
Are you disparaging the NFL? Because right up here in the corner, I bet you the NFL never realized that this guy right here would put their football helmet cam to use so that Phil can see behind him and in front of him.
Imagine if he did have that on the field, though.
Oh my God, Troy Aikman would have played for another 2 years.
Yep. It actually is kind of a dope looking helmet. You don't have the bars. It looks like, I don't know, like it's a mouthpiece or something.
He looks like an old school punter.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you went on Madden and you could pay for this skin? Well, of course he has a whole team behind him. And the reason SUPERPRO has a team is when you read through the series, basically everybody starts figuring out who he is. So he does a terrible job of concealing his identity.
Come on.
So
dude.
at a certain point, he's just like, all right, fine, you're part of my team. All right, fine, you're part of my team. So he's got an entourage.
As soon as like somebody finds out, it's like, look, if you don't tell anybody, I'll let you in. Right. How long is that going to last for? But then you have to remember Iron Man, Tony Stark came right out and said, I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah, but that's way cooler than coming out and being at an NFL press conference and being like, I am SUPERPRO. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to be selling you why he's great.
Yeah, you are.
Well, look at him. He's got an infrared filter in his friggin' helmet, and it'll allow him to see in the dark. Well, he's got a lot of enemies, and the NFL has a lot of enemies.
Why do people not like him? That's what I'm trying to find out. He seems like the all-American dude.
Yeah, he's NFL SUPERPRO.
He's definitely buff. The pads look cool. I love the stars on the shoulders.
And like every professional wrestler, he brings his gear with him everywhere he goes.
What does he keep it in? Suitcase?
I don't know, that kind of looks like a picnic basket, doesn't it?
Yeah. So he can just try to oh, there isn't anything to see in here. It's just my picnic food.
He doesn't even have the decency to go to a phone booth.
No.
He's just whipping it out in the back of his car.
Jeez, man.
It's not even a good car.
You'd think a SUPERPRO, he would be driving something a little nicer. Look at him lurking in the bushes. Like, you can't see him. He's probably like a 6'6", like 250-pound, just jack dude, wearing full football pads. like you can't see him in those bushes.
So could you just imagine this being John Cena in the Marvel Universe, and he could recreate this scene, maybe I don't know, Captain America and I don't know, Black Widow are trapped in that cabin, and he has to run out there and just being like, good thing I brought my uniform. John Cena shoulder tackle.
If John Cena did play this character, I would pop for it. But I don't understand how he is gonna save Black Widow and Captain America. Like, they can get themselves out of the situation. Boom, gunch, pow. So he's just taking these guys out.
Oh yeah, and he's doing it with full Batman effect. And because he's a superhero, he's got quips.
But now I want to rack up the score. I see where he's going. Run it up. You're gonna buy the farm team, SUPERPRO.
And of course, I mean, he's a football superhero. He's got to use a football as a weapon too.
Right. I mean, one would think.
But he's a linebacker. Why is he punting?
Yeah, but of course he would say, it's up and it's good. It's like he's doing his own commentary while he's kicking ass. It's kind of awesome. The name is SUPERPRO. Like, dude, you couldn't have come up with something better than that?
Do you want me to spell it out? Your name's SUPERPRO. It's not that hard to spell.
No. Oh, it's over, all right. Because it's time for your sudden death. The sports puns are just too much. And that's not even a football one. That's like a hockey sudden death, right?
Yeah, he would be like, well, if he said it's overtime, he's just sort of being like, all right, the fight's going to go longer. But then I guess that's what sudden death is, but he's implying he's going to kill SUPERPRO.
Well, he should have said this. Oh, it's over, all right. You're not going to make it to overtime.
But SUPERPRO can dodge bullets because obviously he's like every superhero. Which is why I think he should be in the Avengers game, because there's so many of those things that shoot freaking bullets at you and lasers.
The lasers are so obnoxious. Okay, now he's in his just street clothes, just beating up. All right, they're not defenseless guys. They have guns.
Spider-Man and all these other guys, they try to make sure that you don't know that they have the same fighting ability as their superhero alter ego. This guy, on the other hand...
No, he's just being a bully. He don't care. He's like, I got these powers now. I might as well use them for my own good. That is not very Avenger-ish. Biff. Crunch.
Wait, what did he crunch his balls?
He might have. It looks like he punted him in them.
Oh my God!
See, that's Captain America dressed as a football player.
Could you imagine this scene in a video game, though?
Well, yeah, because of the blimp. You'd have to do something with the blimp for sure.
Oh, yeah. It would be like one of those cinematic, like, hit X. All right, now hit B. And if you hit it wrong, you see your character fall right into the stadium. Better not miss!
Yep.
I'm going to die.
Well, yeah, so he jumps up on with his super jumping ability, because this guy would just tear it up at the combine, mind you.
Absolutely.
He jumps up onto the blimp. Oops,
and then
forgot cleats, and blimps don't mix. So he pops it. There's his boy, MC Hammer, always bailing him out of trouble. Meanwhile, cameraman Ken Reed drives his, I thought that said degenerate, his dejected friends, Phil Grayfield, back to their hotel. He doesn't have like a lair or like a penthouse like Stark does, or like a cave like Batman does.
No, this guy horribly mismanaged all the money he made playing football. He can't even have like a cool Ninja Turtle style van where it's like SUPERPRO on the side.
That'd be kind of dope. So tell me, did he feel like he had a calling for this? Or was it something that he was kind of like pushed into? Because he's not doing a great job so far.
I kind of think it's one of those things where, like, if you had superpowers, I guess you feel like morally obligated to do something with them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, what if Spider-Man was like, all right, I got nothing to do, and maybe I'll just use it to sling pizzas for the entire movie?
Yeah.
No, I think at some point you're like, all right, I guess I could bust those bad guys.
Right.
Plus, this guy seems like a goody two-shoes.
I gotta be honest, I'd probably use the powers for my own gain for a while. I'm just gonna toss that out there. This is Los Angeles, Ken. People are always going to parties, and no one ever knows who they're talking to at any given time. What? Nobody knows who they're talking to?
Listen, Phil thinks they're all on drugs.
You can't ruin a man's life because of gossip or innuendo. he was going to present it as evidence at tomorrow's grand jury hearing.
So he's got to clear this guy's good name, and mainly the NFL's good name. But there's no bad people in the NFL.
Never.
But do you like Phil's message about not canceling?
I do. You can't just cancel.
And that's a good thing, too, because he talked Little Yachty here out of Gang Life.
Look at his Eagles shirt. Wait, what team was he on?
I believe he was a Philadelphia Eagle.
Oh, all right.
Oh, wait, I think I know what just happened. Once you became an Eagle, you disqualified him. He's got no chance anymore of being part of the Avengers. It's discriminating.
He's out, dude. He's out. He is out. No
even if
Eagle ever amounted to nothing.
Even if you save Little Yachty here from Gang Life.
Look around you guys. The mural they're painting. The wall you're painting on. You owe it to all. You owe it all to Michael Frazier. He is just lecturing these kids. You're trying to get away from the gang life, but you never will if you keep living by gang rules. That makes sense. I mean, he is making sense. What is he? He looks like he's the quarterback trying to listen to his coach. He's not getting any game plans here. He needs to make this up himself.
He kind of looks like the quarterbacks when they throw an interception and they're sitting on the bench pouting.
Yeah.
And then you see the offensive coordinator slink up like, yo, tablet, this is what you did wrong. You did wrong. And they're like, I'm Tom Brady. I don't want to hear it.
No.
SUPERPRO is the perfect example for the kids to follow. See right here? Look at the stadium he's at, and look at the event that he's at.
Just say no to the Chicago Bears.
No, you're not supposed to say no to the Chicago Bears.
Right.
Unless you're a quality free agent, and then, Andy Dalton's going to save your season.
You ain't kidding.
Right here, SUPERPRO and his pals and the NFL want you to stay off drugs.
That's good. That's the one clear, concise message I've gotten so far. Yeah, it was his idea to get NFL players to tour the country and speak out against drugs. It's been a great success. The kids are listening, and they're getting the message that drugs are bad news.
Just tell them illegal drugs are bad, so don't mess with them.
Illegal drugs are bad news. Don't mess with them.
And then the other thing that they want to do here
is make him a reporter.
Yeah, he's a reporter, and he's going to show that the NFL doesn't want any collusion or fraud in their league.
Never.
So they take down major drug kingpins here and people trying to ruin the NFL's good name.
You kidding me?
Why am I getting those vibes? Who was in Saved by the Bell the college years? Who was the old guy that was friends with Zach Morris?
Mike Golick.
Why am I getting Mike Golick vibes from Phil here?
So what he's also doing is preventing the dean of the students from taking advantage of student athletes. Because as we all know, the NFL takes no advantage of their athletes.
Never, not once. Music to my ears, these people are saying. It's about time.
And why is it about time? It's because SUPERPRO, Phil Grayfield.
Oh yeah, I've instituted a program with Clinton University. Their generous help will allow alumni and present students a chance to get the education that they deserve. That's a good thing.
Clinton University? Do you think they knew? Do you think this was maybe part of the Urkel bill from the other episode? This was part of what he was sending over to Bill to read. Not only clean air.
Next week, you're gonna convince me how SUPERPRO belongs in the TGIF universe. Don't get any ideas.
Now, what SUPERPRO also does is prevent you from clear cutting in the rainforest, not damaging the trees, saving the environment. So he's also like Captain Planet.
He is. I was gonna say it's very Captain Planet right here. He just needs the mullet. I don't know, dude, but his suit looks dope. I like the suit. Thank you for saving us, NFL man. Oh my God. If only saving the rainforest were that simple. It could be if we only draw the line. Interesting.
And he could draw the line with those little field markers.
Right.
Be like, well, we could save the environment, but we needed 3 more inches to do it.
Yep.
Fullback
Sorry,
sneak.
bud. See, I care about life too, including yours. Well, that's good. He cares about other people's lives. All right, now he's just stopping the cops from doing their job here. Please wait, officers. I'd like Claudio to hear this. I just want to say that the Repulsor's actions over the past weeks have been wrong, but his message is right. It's everyone's responsibility to think globally and act locally.
Shut up, Super Pro.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. It's not up to everybody to save the world all the time. We're just trying to get by here, dude.
Could you just see the Hulk busting into this, just being like, think globally, act locally. You know, it's like Super Pro has a lot to say, but what is his personality? He's just like preaching every second. I'd be tired of him so fast.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just stuff that's fed to him to say. All right, here he is, meeting up with a couple stars, NFL stars here.
Can you recognize them? They're famous. They're all celebrating the United Way here. Phil Simms.
Yeah, Phil Simms, and that must be Lawrence Taylor.
Yep. And if we all know about getting good publicity, it's Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, and then the guy behind him, is that, what is his name?
That looks like Bill Romanowski?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't even think I recognize Bill Romanowski. I think that is him. All right, why does he look like Tom Brady now?
No, he really does. Hold on. You just need to put Tom's face on all of this, and people will buy it.
Do you think the NFL would be happy if I just said, hey, listen, just offer Tom the NFL Super Pro movie, and he might finally retire?
Right? Hang in there. People are still suspicious of me. Guess they'll always be. Who is saying that?
Bill Romanowski over here.
Oh, gosh.
Why are they suspicious?
But at least I was cleared of having any ties to gambling.
Romanowski, how could you?
All because of you and that Super Pro guy.
See, that one guy called him NFL guy.
NFL
this guy's
man.
Like that Super Pro guy.
He gets no respect, I tell you. All right, and this is Super Pro versus Ripsaw. What sport did he come from?
That is Claudio from earlier. Some of these super villains, you know how they start. Why don't you do the right thing? And then they get cuckoo in the head.
I'm going to say this. I think if Super Pro tried to join the Avengers in today, right, in today's age, he would get booed out of the building because there's nothing cool about him. Like, it's one thing to be like the all-American, you know, Captain America, just do-gooder for your country guy. But even Cap has a cool edge to him. This guy has no edge to him. It's almost like he's there for all the wrong reasons. He's just super puppeteered. I don't trust him, dude. He would turn on us.
Oh, he would. Isn't there the guy in the Avengers game, right? And they're like, you used to be one of us. Oh, I used to, and I know all your tricks. You think Super Pro would be like that?
Yeah.
So do you think, like, if, I don't know, say Tony Stark stumbled across a plan and he's like, wow, the NFL is up to some shady stuff. Super Pro would be like, not the NFL.
Never.
Roger, we got a problem. I think he's a noble guy. Look at him. Look at his unique traits here.
What? What, he can flip?
Kind of tight ass.
Tightest ass I've seen all day. It's those tights.
No, he's willing to save his girlfriend.
Right.
Can clearly beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, he just sent him through a wall.
His explosive shells are probably footballs.
That's kind of cool, though. Look at that kick right to the gut. In my short time spent doing this costume, Jane... Wow, I can't even read this.
Who calls doing their superhero business doing their costume?
Yeah, what is that? See, that's why it didn't make sense. In my short time spent doing this costume, jammy thing, this makes no sense, Joe. Who is writing this?
Doing his costume jammy thing. So he's comparing his suit to pajamas.
The best defense is a good offense. Got it.
Which makes him seem like a badass, but then the next thing, he kicked me in the knife wound. The pain.
He's a bad guy. He's trying to kill you. You're lucky that's all he did to you. VRZM?
They're just making up things now. Even the Batman comic strip guys like, I don't know, Super Pro, just type some letters.
Yeah, just toss them together. That's a kick right there. That's a wonk. And it's good. Grayfield goes for the extra point. If he did his own commentary the whole time, that could be kind of cool.
If this was the movie, he'd have to do the commentary. That's how he gets on the team.
Right.
He'd be talking more than Spider-Man.
Oh, gosh.
Could you just imagine? You'd be like, all right, quiet, you two.
All right, so now they're here. That's Michael Jordan. I don't know how this turned into basketball, but...
Because if anybody cares about the kids who can't afford college, it's SUPERPRO and his super friends.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Michael, I'm here to find out if you need any help defeating the Monstars next time.
No, that's okay. You can go, Phil.
Yeah,
How do you know I'm Phil? I'm Michael Jordan. Okay. You're cool.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, so who is he fighting this time? Does he have a new bad guy every time?
Yeah, he's got to build a rogues gallery.
Yeah.
And that's why he faces this guy with a sword. Here's where I got to be honest. When I read the entire comic strip, there was not that many memorable bad guys.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so the guy with the sword is Quick Kick, who's an old player that Phil used to play with. And when he's on offense, there is no defense.
Nope. The covers are kind of dope. SUPERPRO plays the game of his life in the arena of death. I'm in. SUPERPRO. Pro knows b-ball. Okay, now they've run out of football puns, so they got to make them play basketball now. Whump, whack, club. Now that's more like it. Direct to the point. Get it?
What is this? A James Bond movie?
Dude, it might be. How is he avoiding all of these? He must have like an incredible cone drill time. Joe, he's not winning me over so far. Let's treat this like a interview for a job. Tell me, SUPERPRO, what are some of your flaws that you can work on?
You know, a lot of his bad guys can be pretty generic. He's associated with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep. We got a full-on just showdown going on here. They're just tearing up this van. Wait, that's his van.
Well, it's because people kind of know who he is. He's easy to figure out.
Yeah. Here he comes, dude. It's SUPERPRO. Skapow. Who's this guy? His coach?
Also with this guy, he gets beat up way too easily. So if his foes were a little bit stronger and smarter, they would totally take him out. Look at it.
All right, so this is the bad guy, and he must be like a former quarterback turned bad guy because he is about to hum this football at him. The NFL players aren't in immediate danger, so I'll call the cops and a SUPERPRO. Go out for the long bomb. I knew it. It looked like it was a wick. Great. I'm the receiver. Oh, no. He's done now.
So this guy, this out-of-shape dude, is able to get him locked up.
Look at this team, dude. These are like the human versions of the Monstars, but football.
And they were rough, nasty, too intense to play in the pussy NFL.
Oh, yeah. Crump.
And SUPERPRO, you know, he's not a fun guy. If you're trying to have a good time party, he's going to break in.
He's just too much of a do-gooder for me, dude. I don't know.
And I find that these villains just mock him continuously.
I don't kill people. Well, that's good. Nor do I damage property. Does he just go around saying that to try to get people to like him? Who? There won't be any more kidnappings in the... Who is kidnapping NFL players? They are grown men. Some of the best athletes in the world. Who is just kidnapping Ray Lewis?
Nobody is. And you know why? Because I trust the NFL implicitly.
Ugh, I hate this guy so much now.
And then bootleg Thor shows up.
I was gonna say, why is bootleg Thor hanging upside down here? And who they stuck somebody's van on this blimp. Gasp. That blimp, what are they doing? I don't know, but it doesn't look like it's working out. And of course he can't use a fist. He's gonna palm him like a Heisman pose. He's back to fighting the jungle guy. And that's his cameraman. Where's his camera? Why is he just watching?
Nobody respects him. Now he's NFL man.
That's messed up. He is SUPERPRO.
And now
Spider-Man?
we're going to get our cameos. Look who shows up at the same press conference.
Spider-Man.
Phil is so goddamn cool that he thinks that maybe Peter Parker recognizes Phil because Phil's famous.
Right. You're right. Okay.
Because Peter Parker's like, listen, I've seen this guy on ESPN.
Yeah.
And Phil's all like, huh, my playing days. You must remember
you
me.
remember yeah. Coach O'Shea? You're Coach O'Shea? All right, now he's just ripping down a bridge. Is this crazy enough for you? This guy is just going to implode. Here's the new goal line. I'm the goal. Okay, these are just too much. Too many puns. But gosh, he is jacked. All right, back off. It's only a game. It's not worth fighting over. You've been fighting for something this entire episode.
Now, Captain America has got to go down to just some damage control because these people in another foreign country are ready to fight this guy. Get out of the way, you walking flag.
Oh. Dang, dude. That's brutal.
So he has to hang out with his girlfriend. And, she tries to lecture him that maybe he's not the greatest superhero and he's not doing this right. Next time, don't tackle kidnappers by yourself. Call the cops. Or...
Spider-Man, burn. That's messed up. And he just says, groan.
And all superheroes like to make that grand entrance.
Right. Who the blank are you? Nobody even knows him.
And he didn't stick the landing either.
No. How do Daredevil and Spider-Man do this kind of thing every day? Because they are superheroes. They're not just former good football players.
He's pretty pathetic. Like, not only does he not stick the landing, the guy's just like, wait, I could just run you over right now.
And shoot you. Oh, there he is. He has to come save the day. Playtime's over, Crossbones. You've been a very bad boy.
So this guy could hold his own.
Absolutely. And he is... All right, Captain America's never bitten anybody. He wouldn't do that. What is this?
He's sucking out the venom from Cap.
Oh, okay. So Cap, being the outstanding citizen he is, he's going to suck the venom out and spit it. And his cameraman's like, can you do that again so I can get this on film?
And of course, his friends constantly figure out who he is. His secret identity is not very hidden.
Well, of course not. You can still fully see his face, Joe. He's wearing a helmet, not a mask.
Everyone's just like, hey, Phil. Oh, wait, how'd you know Phil?
All right, I'm not saying there's no chance that he can get in, but he's going to need a damn good reference, or a couple of them.
First of all, the people he goes up against are also worried about Nick Fury getting wind of their scheme.
But man, oh man, if Nick Fury gets wind of it, look out. I can't believe people would bought this.
Then he also faces people who are in that universe. This guy is Constrictor.
Constrictor seems kind of cool to me.
And Constrictor has faced off against the Hulk, Spider-Man, Captain America, Nick Fury, Deadpool, and more. And guess what? He's able to beat Constrictor here.
What? How does he do it? And he defeated him and turned him over to the police. No one's ever done that, right?
SUPERPRO is not cool with a guy who thinks murder is a good way to pay the rent.
No, not at all. Get Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the line. He'll bail me out. Be quiet, snake. You'll get your phone call at the station. Nick Fury wouldn't bail him out. He's a bad guy.
And of course, Captain America showed up a few times.
He's like, dude, your gimmick is a little bit too close to mine, except I don't play football. I have my shield, and you're wearing the NFL shield. I don't know about him. But I will say, SUPERPRO is probably a great leader in the locker room. Okay, and this picture on the right looks like that Spider-Man meme when they're all just staring at each other and pointing.
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
Captain America is saying, listen, SUPERPRO, your heart's in the right place. And that is pretty much why you'll never go wrong.
Yeah.
And he gives him his card. How can you say that this guy can't be part of the team?
He's going to need a lot of work. He's going to need a lot of work. And Cap is the one that can teach him the ways. But the Avengers is a super crew of already incredible superheroes.
Like
Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Hulk.
And see down here, Spider-Man's going to lend a hand. So there's team-ups already.
Yeah. Or are these other like superheroes having to bail him out?
What do you mean? This guy's going from sacking quarterback to tackling crime. Even the fans were wondering, I don't know, maybe we could see Wonder Woman or
The Punisher.
The Punisher.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work, bud.
But I don't know. I think you might be this fan who wasn't buying it.
I must admit that I was a bit apprehensive about another Captain America type. See, I told you. And the kind of hero who never loses in a fight and expects everyone to live by his antiquated values. It's just like you're just getting spoon-fed this, just shoved right down your throat, and you're supposed to like it, even if you don't.
Yeah, and even these people, they're like, listen, nobody's perfect except Cap. So they're kind of saying like, all right, I really only have use for Cap?
I don't know about that. Dear sports fans, I've been enjoying NFL SUPERPRO immensely from its inception, though recent issues have gotten away from the series' initial focus on football. There you go.
And then...
All right, we have some questions here.
Somebody was already planning for the major crossover.
Number 2, will SUPERPRO be part of any upcoming series like Infinity War? Interesting. Ooh. Will SUPERPRO be joining any teams like the Avengers or Avengers West Coast? There's a specific West Coast Avengers? You have to remember, I never read comic books. I'm into the Marvel stuff because of Iron Man. I always thought Spider-Man was like really cool, like the Tobey Maguire films and the Andrew Garfunkel films. I thought those were great. The new ones are great too. But I didn't know there was a West Coast Avengers. What is there, a Southern Avengers too?
What do you think's happening on that helicarrier?
Dude, I don't know. Does SUPERPRO have a girlfriend? I like a little bit of romance along with the violence. SUPERPRO doesn't have premarital sex. Get out of here.
No, not SUPERPRO. And finally, he throws a little shade at your boy here.
No, where at? Show me.
Well, SUPERPRO's trying to get along with the police officer, but she's tough, okay? You know what she once did?
I once gave Iron Man a ticket for jaywalking. She never did that, so back off, big boy.
You should give Iron Man a ticket for not saying anything about that hairstyle and talking her out of it.
Right. It should have been jaywalking. It should have been jaw-jacking because Stark is always running off at the mouth.
Okay, so in your Nick Fury-like opinion, you've seen all the cards laid out on the table. Can SUPERPRO become an Avenger?
Now, if you want to crown him, then crown her.
Can he get that TV show? Can he get in the video game?
Dude, I think SUPERPRO needs a lot more experience before he can even be considered for the Avengers. Now, could he have his own movie? Or could he make a cameo in a movie? Sure. But I don't think he's ready to be fully on board yet. That's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to them.
Should we bring SUPERPRO back?
No.
What kind of disgusting, despicable lack of respect.
All right, well,
not.
SUPERPRO is going to the dustbin of obscurity. I'm a little upset here. I really thought he had something. There are other characters in the Marvel universe that I think should get a shot like SUPERPRO did. They got a comic book. Why shouldn't you give them a chance?
I think SUPERPRO is a prime example why we shouldn't give him a chance.
What about this guy? He's got all the magic that a Doctor Strange has.
The Nesquik bunny? He might as well just bring everybody chocolate milk after they save the world. I'd pop for that.
Look who's hanging out with him.
Who? Spider-Man? Special guest appearance? All right, no. This was a comic book you got. It's probably like a super small one that you got within a box of Nesquik.
Then, of course, this guy could join the Avengers, give us some nice comedy moments.
Yep, I'm in. I am in for that 100%. He was just going to tell stories. I think he should just narrate the movie.
Then, of course, there's multiple examples why the next guy should be in these Marvel movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or 4? Could you just see this man?
Oh, yeah. I could definitely see. I could see Alf in there. But I think Alf just wants to kind of be domesticated. He just kind of wants to live with a family.
A family of mutants?
Oh my God, what in the world is this?
Hey, it's Alf as SUPERPRO.
No, it is not. Come on, it is. What in the world? And that's Alf as Nightcrawler. This is great.
Oh, we got kicked out of Charles Xavier's school.
Yeah, I had a feeling he would with that mouth.
I mean, how could the Tanners have stood him so long?
Right.
Then we could have these guys join up.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, I love them as they are. They don't need to be superheroes.
And
is that Nixon?
That's Reagan.
Reagan, okay.
Then Alice Cooper,
the rock star?
Yep.
I don't know if he should be a Avenger.
Why? He's crazy like the Joker.
He really is, dude. That's spooky. If
All
you
right.
get his face tattooed on you, I'll pay for it.
No.
So to put a bow on things, yeah, SUPERPRO isn't going to make it. Alf can make it. I'm in for that.
Here's a chance to open people's minds.
John Candy can always hang out with us in any movie. It doesn't matter. For Joe, I'm Jeff. Thank you so much for watching Pop Culture Paradise. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Whoa.
All three if you're feeling up
Whoa.
to it. What do you got?
I just got something from my sources. We have a special guest, and he is willing to put a final word and overrule even you on whether this guy could join the Avengers. I think he's got a little bit more authority.
All right.
Espectacular, espectacular, Spider-Man. Espectacular, espectacular, Spider-Man.
Joey, Jeff, before I answer your question, I just have to say how much I love your show, Pop Culture Paradise. When I know fighting crime, I binge all your content. But to answer
This is
today's
not
topic,
Spider-Man.
I never let SUPERPRO join the Avengers. That guy's a goof. Now letting Alf become an Avenger. I'm open to that idea. He seems like he fit right in with the gang. I just keep him away from Black Cat. And who else did Joe suggest? Alice Cooper, Bullwinkle, the Nesquik Rabbit. Come on! I have better luck working with J. Jonah Jameson.
El espectacular Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Well, now I know what Avengers West Coast is. Who is this guy?
Spider-Man!
Spider-Man?
That was Spider-Man! Don't you recognize him?
My whole childhood is a lie. That's Spider-Man. Dude, who is that?
Spider-Man!
Is that you? Is that you?
No!
Dude, that was you.
That was not me.
What
That
the
was
hell
Spider-Man!
Who the hell was that? I'm dead. Look at him, here he comes. Spider-Man.
Joey, Jeff, before I answer your question, I just have to say how much I love your show, Pop Culture Paradise.
I'm glad he's a
When I know
fan.
fighting crime, I
Right?
binge all your content. But
All of it.
to answer
All of our
today's topic,
continent.
I never let SUPERPRO join the Avengers. That guy's a goof. Now letting Alf become an Avenger. I'm open to that idea.
See,
He
he's
seems
open,
like
okay?
He
Yeah.
fit right in with the gang. I just keep him away from Black Cat. And who else did Joe suggest? Alice Cooper.
Shouldn't he be
Bullwinkle,
fighting crime?
The Nesquik Rabbit. Come on. I have
Come
better
on,
luck
man.
working with J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh. We need that clip isolated. Anytime one of us say something stupid, just pop him in saying, come on.
Yes, we do.
Spider-Man. That was epic, dude. That was great. Good stuff.
For more Pop Culture Paradise, click the link below and
Yeah, if you
check
dare
out the other
to.
videos. Spider-Man, how could you go against me? All right.
There we go. Spider-Man.